My wife and I have 3 children. They're nearly adults, a teen and a tween. My eldest has no intention of doing anything after high school, at least not anything he's made clear to us. So I gave him the same ultimatum my parents gave to me. Either go to university, get a job, or get out. I chose to travel the world for 2 years. I had a lot of sailing experience, and my father had a lot of friends in that community, so I could sail around the world, earning money and working my butt off. It wasn't a 2-year vacation. At least my family is well off, and I could have chosen a lazy life, but I knew I'd be a disappointment if I decided that. So when I got back, I enrolled in university and eventually went to work for the family business. My wife thinks I'm being unfair to our poor baby boy by throwing him out into the world. I'm not. We have money to pay for his university. We have the money for all 3 kids. My middle child will probably end up with a good chunk of it in her pocket. She's on track for an academic as well as a golf scholarship. The youngest is a little kid, and who knows what he'll do, but he knows the plan. We've not been secretive about this rule. My wife and I agreed that we would raise productive members of society before we got engaged. She and my son think I'm being cruel to expect him to fend for himself at 18. I've offered him multiple opportunities to do other things. He has no interest in anything beyond his computer. I'm at a loss. I don't think I'm wrong for expecting an adult to act like one. My parents have already told him that they will not give him any money if he isn't in school or working. My wife is threatening to use her salary to support him. I don't have any say in that. I won't actually kick him out of the house, but I will stop paying the bills and cut off our grocery budget by 20 EL. If she wants to work so he doesn't have to, there's nothing I can do about that. He has been seeing a therapist since he was 9. It's not fending for oneself when the parents tell the kids to go to university. We pay for it. You stay under our roof or work. Keep your money to yourself. You stay under our roof or choose to do nothing with your life and you'll have to fend for yourself. Not at all. You don't even give him ultimatums about what to study or what job to take. He could bum around from major to major or from minimum wage job to another while figuring out what he wants to do with his life. This with all expenses paid, he will not get sudden inspiration on how to spend his adult life by staying home and doing nothing. Not the idiot for actually parenting your kid. Seriously, you support this child from all spheres. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing offending for oneself here. Oops, wife and snot, acting like he has to be a doctor or get kicked out. Like, no, just do something productive. He does not tolerate this blatant fallacy. As can't my aunt and uncle let my cousin leave university and stay home doing nothing. He's now approaching 50. They're in their 70s, but they still do everything for him. Except 70-something-year-old mommy does cooking, laundry, and cleaning for her 50-year-old son. In addition, they've been spending the past few decades buying rental properties so he can live from being a landlord when they pass away. This is so weird and just painful to watch. You are the idiot. He's a kid. I didn't know my butt from my elbow at his age. Also, he's a child. How is his mental health? Why is he in therapy? Is there something impacting his desire to work or go to school? Determine why your kid isn't thriving and decide from there. The OPE is basically teaching the kid that if he isn't successful, he can't count on support from his family. And this approach is ineffective. At the way people are calling this parenting, I don't see parenting in this. That's if Op's kid felt safe and supported by his parents, they would already know what was going on with him. Yeah, the fact that he's being incredibly careful about framing this as I worked hard on my 2-year sailing trip and expect hard work from my kids, and ignoring explaining why his kid, with aspirations, is in therapy is some huge red flags. The problem isn't the expectation, it's his attitude and approach toward his son and wife, demonizing and criticizing rather than empowering and understanding. Over the summer, I, 39, female, my husband, 42, and my son, pre-tween, took a trip to Myrtle Beach. We had a great time at the beach, and we stopped at a nearby gift shop to pick up some souvenirs. My son spotted a toy ball with cute strawberry characters on it. He absolutely loved it and begged me to buy it for him. I told him that maybe Santa would get it for him for Christmas. I then purchased the ball and put it away for Christmas. 4 months later, not a week goes by that my son doesn't mention this ball. Quite frankly, I've never seen him so excited about something before. So I was super excited for him to open it on Christmas morning. So Christmas rolls around, and my husband and I give my son his gifts. He opens the ball and he's ecstatic. My husband, on the other hand, was less than thrilled. He knew all about the ball, but apparently he had never taken a close look at it. He says he's concerned that our son would want what was clearly a toy for girls. I was shocked and tried to explain that it was just a toy ball and it didn't really matter who it was marketed for. He dropped the conversation, and I thought the issue was settled. So fast. So a week forward, the ball suddenly goes missing from our house. My son is distraught, and I have no idea where it went. My husband then revealed to me privately that he had given the ball to his brother to give to his younger niece and purchased him a different one, Spider-Man, which, granted, he loves. I was obviously livid. I reminded him of our son's love for this ball and how excited he was to get it. I told him that what he did was incredibly insensitive and thoughtless. Yet my husband argues that he did it for the greater good and was protecting our son from bullying. I replied that he was being ridiculous and that our son wouldn't be bullied for having a toy traditionally viewed as being for girls. To be honest, it didn't even look like a girl's toy. So here's where I may have taken things a bit too far. I told my son, the reason why the ball is gone is that your dad gave it away to someone else without asking. My husband was immediately angry with me and told me that I was trying to turn our son against him and that I should have left it alone. Looking back, it was a bit wrong of me to tell our son the truth, as that's going to hurt him and strain their relationship. But at the same time, it isn't right for my husband to interfere with our son's Christmas gift without even consulting either of us first. I could have handled this situation better by not telling our son. Am I the idiot? My goodness, too late. That the ball made him gay. Not the idiot. OP. Your husband is a real piece of work. How do you think he'll react if your son turns out to be gay or transgender? He's the one that crossed the united front line and made a unilateral decision, not you. He has no right to be angry at you and needs therapy to get over the idea that a ball with strawberries is a threat to his manhood. Just a good rule of thumb in life. If you don't do shameful things, you don't have to worry when someone tells the truth about you. Telling the truth about your husband's actions will turn your son against him. Then that means that his actions are what turn your son against him. Yeah, what is the rotten marshmallow puff kind of nonsense your husband's carrying on about a dang toy? You're not the idiot for sticking up for your boy. Ironically, your husband bullied the situation under the guise of your son not getting bullied. He needs to kick rocks with that. I don't know how I feel about you telling your young son of this, so I'm withholding full judgment. At the end of the day, you're married to a bully who has many other issues beyond misogyny. I let my husband know there will never be any type of event involving all these nasty behaviors or you need to peace all the way out. Good luck. I'm 23, female getting married to my fiancé. I sent out the invitations for the wedding before the Christmas holidays. Holidays, but no one friend, Ellie, has taken issue with the dress code. Fiancé and I are both practicing Muslims with several close non-Muslim friends. We're going to perform our religious marriage as well as be registered to perform the civil marriage. Now, obviously, we've asked all of our guests to dress respectfully and be covered. As to none of our friends or relatives, who don't usually follow the rules of modest dress for either men or women in their day-to-day, have had an issue with this. However, Ellie has taken issue with the dress code. I tried to explain nicely to her at first that it's a place of worship and she needs to be respectful, but she's getting increasingly aggressive about it. Yesterday, she messaged me to say she would wear whatever she wanted, and I would have to deal with it. So I messaged her back and said, Ellie, I can't make you dress appropriately, but if you don't, then you can't come to the wedding. Now she's texting the group chat saying I'm excluding her from my wedding for stupid reasons, and that I have an agenda against her for being an atheist. I've known her since she was a teen, and this has never been how she's behaved. So now I'm wondering if I'm being a bridezilla, or if I'm the idiot. It's my wedding. I'm an atheist. If I go to a religious wedding, I wear appropriate clothes. I won't wear religious clothes like a cross, but if you want my collarbone and wrists covered, that's fine. It's showing respect for other people's traditions and cultures. Up as a guest at a wedding, people who have been attending have choices to make about their attire. Usually, they put things through a mental filter of appropriateness. Agreeations instead, she's absolutely determined to feign ignorance of social norms at a friend's wedding. To me, it's really shocking that she cares so much about her preferences and so little about A, social expectations, and B, her friend's important ceremony. You're not a bridezilla. Please don't let Ellie make you feel like you are one. She's trying to make this about her for whatever reason. As this, maybe, seems extremely selfish and not something a friend would do. I'm sorry, your friend seems to be putting her feelings about clothes over your friendship. It's perfectly reasonable of you to ask her to either abide by the dress code or not attend. I hope you have an amazing wedding day. My husband and I recently went on a long overdue vacation to a tropical island. We stayed at an all-inclusive resort, but we also wanted to get out and explore the island. So we decided that each of us could pick an activity to get us off the resort for a day. I picked a hike that would bring us up into the island's mountainous interior and through some rainforest. My husband is not a big hiker, but he agreed to do it with me. My husband narrowed his choices to two options: a catamaran trip to snorkel and go dun buggy riding. I got horrible motion sickness. We had some mild turbulence on our flight to the island, and even with the Dramamine I took before we took off, I still got nauseous and lightheaded. I told my husband that both of the ideas he picked were things I knew would make me motion sick. He told me that it probably wouldn't be that bad, but I told him that I knew my body, and I knew without a doubt that both of those activities would make me sick. I asked him if there were any other activities that he was interested in, but he said that those two were the only ones that had piqued his interest. He eventually agreed to go on the hiking trip first, and then we figured out the activity he wanted to do. While on our hike, we started talking with another couple, also staying at our resort. They had been there a couple of times, and my husband asked if they had done either of the activities he wanted. They had done both and said that both were a lot of fun, but the wife said the catamaran trip was rough at times and a couple of people on their trip got seasick. She also said that the dun buggy riding was fun because you got to drive it yourself, but it's mostly on dirt tracks that can get pretty bumpy. From the way she described it, I knew that if I did either of those things, I would get sick. When we got back from the hike, I told my husband that I didn't want to do either of the activities he wanted to do, and asked again if he could please pick something else for us to do. He said those were the only two things he liked, and if I didn't want to do them, we won't because he doesn't want to go alone. I knew he was upset because he was really excited about the things he wanted to do, and after I told him I wouldn't do them, his demeanor definitely changed. I wouldn't say he was sulking, but he was definitely less animated and not his usual fun self. He spent the rest of our trip just sitting around the pool, doing nothing. I tried to get him to do things with me, like get a massage, but he told me to just go do that myself. When he didn't change his attitude, I finally asked him what was up, and he told me that he had gone outside of his comfort zone to go on a hike with me, but I wouldn't do the same for him. I told him that hiking doesn't make him sick, so that's a big difference, but he told me I could have at least tried one of them. Am I the idiot? You were the idiot. You could have tried the dune buggy with him and stopped if it was a problem, at which time he might have been happy continuing on his own, or driven your own behind him and gone slower. You didn't even try. You're wrong for expecting your husband to do an activity he didn't want to do while fully knowing that you would never agree to do the activities he wanted to do. That's not being a good partner. Disagree? You aren't supposed to drive when you take that medication. It's very sedating, and the box literally tells you not to. Not the idiot, I 100% understand. Understand you're not wanting to risk the motion sickness on your vacation. And I think your husband's an idiot for expecting you to just try it when you're getting nauseated on plane rides. So you were transparent that you didn't want to do those things for a legitimate reason. I also understand feeling disappointed that he put a hamper on things when he didn't get to do what he wanted. Everyone's the idiot here. Her feelings and nausea are valid. I wouldn't want to do something my partner would be uncomfortable doing. But Ope even said they didn't research the activities at the resort before going. They went in blind, but not working as a team. They never should have had a rigid tie, and you pick system. It should have been a collaborative effort from picking the vacation to the activities so they both could have fun. I, a 22-year-old male, have been dating my girlfriend, an 18-year-old, for almost 4 months. We met at work, but to be working at our job, you're required to be currently enrolled in college and have to show proof. I'm not in college, but my friend, a 34-year-old male, is a supervisor at my company and was able to Photoshop a document that showed I was in school so I could work there. When I first started dating my girlfriend, I didn't tell her the truth because I wasn't sure about her at first and wanted to ensure she was trustworthy and that this relationship wouldn't flame out. If I told her right away that I wasn't really in college and we broke up, it would have been bad for me because she could rat me out for being spiteful. My supervisor friend also said I should wait. So I finally came clean to my girlfriend the other day. My girlfriend said she had already told her parents I was in college and what my major was. So what should she do now? I said just to keep going by saying I'm in college. It's not a big deal. I would be graduating soon anyway. My girlfriend is not happy with this, and she's saying she doesn't want to lie to her parents for the rest of our relationship. Now she's saying that she doesn't think she can trust me because I'm deceitful, which I wasn't trying to be. I was just protecting myself. Am I the idiot for not being truthful with my girlfriend about being in college in order to protect my employment status? Wait. You wanted to make sure she was trustworthy after you and your friend forged documents to get a job while lying to her. What reality are you living in where that's acceptable or okay? You are the idiot, and I hope she leaves you for someone more open and trustworthy. And you waited 4 months to tell her? I'm surprised she didn't end things over that. It's on the plus side, after insisting she keeps lying to her parents, seriously and making it clear just how comfortable you are with deceiving everyone, it sounds like she won't be your girlfriend for much longer. What did you plan on doing if you were still dating in the year that you graduate? Each lie about your results and fake photos of you graduating. Let's get a different job that doesn't require lies and forged documentation. I'm going to say it now. The fact that you're dating an 18-year-old when you're 22 and felt you had to lie to her about your college shows that you've become the creepy older guy that preys on younger girls because they feel inadequate around people their own age. Reflect on this possibility and adjust as necessary. Gross.